Hi, this is Karen with New Cleveland Radio, and yes, I can coaching. And yes, I've been a little MIA for the last couple of weeks. I took the last 2 weeks of the year off so that I could spend it with my son and my husband and just have a nice holiday. Well, as I have said, life is messy, and it got a little messy on this end. So not only did things changed for us in many ways. Right before the holidays, my husband lost his job and sort of put a crimp in things, but we thought that, okay, we'll still get through this. Well, Christmas Eve, I took a tumble, and I don't know if you can tell, but I am wearing a sling. I broke my right shoulder and the humerus. And let me tell you, it's not very humorous. I did not laugh. However, I am a week and 1 day in recovery from surgery. So it took a little over a week before I could have the surgery. And I am doing amazingly well. I go back to the surgeon on Monday, and I hope to get some really good news, meaning that I can start physical therapy and that I will truly be on the road to recovery, meaning that I can get back in my car and drive. Would love to do that. However, I do spend a lot of time here in the office as I'm doing podcasting. And for many of you that I had arranged to have on as my guest, whether it be on my particular show or one of the other shows that I produce, I apologize that we had to cut some shows out, and we will be rescheduling here in the very, very near future. In fact, next week I am slowly getting back up to speed and I am ready to go. But what I learned over the last couple of weeks is something that I really want to share here. And I hope that you will listen to me, believe in me, and share my message. So, right before the holidays, I wrote about how life can be messy. We can plan all we want for the holidays, for our loved ones to come in town, for us to go out of town, for job changes, for all the great things that we plan in our life. And then something can happen. It can be as simple as bad weather. Now, the weather has not been just simply bad for many of you. In fact, I'm very grateful that here in Northeast Ohio, yes, we've had a lot of snow, but we haven't had the catastrophes that so many other communities are facing with the ice and snow, especially those communities that don't normally get this kind of weather. Also, if you're listening to this in January, today happens to be January 10th, 2025, many of us are dealing with the loss of homes, properties, personal items, and maybe a few loved ones in the horrible fires that are going on in California. Some of these things we have no control over. And when you don't have any control over it, you sometimes feel helpless and you think that there's no climbing out of the deep, dark hole. And believe me, I've been through many of these things in my life. In March, I will be celebrating my 75th birthday. I don't feel 75 other than this pain in my shoulder and arm. But I feel very lucky to have made it to this age and still be very active in the things that I love to do. One of those things is coaching. Yes, I can coaching with Karen. And I know there are so many of you out there who just need a little bit of support. Sometimes you can't talk to your spouse, your best friend, your parent, your children, or even the people in the grocery store about what is really just nagging at you. You know, you want to make changes, but you think, one, I can't afford it. I don't know how to do it. I'm too old to do it, or I don't have the skills. Well, let me tell you, I've made many changes in my life, and I've done it because I've wanted to. Now, I can't say that I'm 100% successful. I'm not making six figures. I'm not taking fabulous trips around the world. I'm not buying exotic clothing, anything like that. I'm living a normal day-to-day life like many of you. So when it comes to coaching, coaching fees can go anywhere from $50 a session to $250 a session. And I don't think the cost of the session determines whether or not that coach is the best coach for you. I know I've struggled a lot in my years, and sometimes I've had to pay for things that I just could not afford. But if I knew it was really important, I found a way. I dug deep. Well, over the last 2 weeks, as I've been sitting here trying to mend a broken shoulder, going through surgery, seeing so many other people that morning going into surgery for various reasons, I realized I'm not alone. We all have something that we need to deal with. Now, what I'm offering is something that I thought was only going to be till the end of the year, but I've decided it is going to be something I'm going to offer for quite a long time. And that is, I am only going to charge $25 a session. I'm recommending a minimum of 6 sessions for coaching. You can go to newclevelandradio.net and go to the coaching pages. You can learn about what a coach is, what a coach does, and what I think I can do with you. Now, don't contact me if you don't want to make the changes in your life. But if there's something that you want to change, well, let's talk about it. Let's figure out a path. Let me help guide you. I'm not going to tell you what to change. You're going to tell yourself what you want to change. And let's do it in increments. Let's not worry about climbing that mountain in one step because we're not going to do it. We're going to have to climb up the mountain, and occasionally we are going to slip. And that's okay because we're going to learn where our foot should have been so that we wouldn't have slipped. So I'm asking all of you out there, if you're struggling with anything, let me help you. So let me tell you some of the things I've been through in my life. Just so you know, maybe there's a connection here. Number one, I got married young. I married somebody who I think we were in love when we got married. But soon into the marriage, we realized that we weren't the best fit for each other. And I have to thank my ex-husband for really pushing the button because he knew better than I. I probably would have stayed in the marriage, whether it was good or not, just because I felt I had to. I thank him to this day that the two of us were able to move on and forward and make a better life for the two of us and for the son that we share. I'm very proud of my oldest son. He has done magnificently. And I have to say, it's not just because of me or his dad, but the two step parents that he has and just the love and understanding we all have given him throughout the years. So I understand what it means to go through a divorce, to be a single parent, and to struggle. I also know what it means to be in a relationship where people are all saying it's never going to work. I'm in an interfaith marriage, and before we got married, I cannot tell you how many of his friends, my friends, and family members thought it was the worst idea. In fact, he was encouraged to look elsewhere. I was encouraged to look elsewhere. But one of the things that we realized, we are the best of friends. Yes, we can argue. We can raise our voices. And he can get me to cry, and I can get him really angry. But in the end, neither one of us wants to be without each other. And if you need to get proof of that, I'll have him come on occasionally and share his thoughts. So come February 3rd, we will be married 41 years. And we've gone through a lot of struggles. We've gone through job changes, job losses. We've been through miscarriage. We've been through infertility. We got through having the love of our life, our son, born when everybody told us it wasn't going to happen. And prior to that, I got molested by a doctor. And yet, one of the things that I have learned all these years is to take the step forward. Don't let these things define you. You define these things. You determine what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And so in 1989, in fact, Christmas of 1989, we found out I was pregnant. And in August of 1990, our son was born. And for 6 years, everything was normal. I worked, my husband worked. Things were going pretty well. And then we got a diagnosis that my son was on the autism spectrum. Now, in 1996, most of us did not understand autism. In fact, there are many of you out there today who don't understand it. And that's okay. But it's time that we get educated. We made it through the years. We were told at one time my son would amount to nothing. He'd be lucky if he graduated high school. He would never go to college, and he'd never hold down a full-time job. Well, guess what, everybody? Even through all the struggles, he graduated high school with a great GPA. He went to college. Like many, he struggled, but he found his way. He graduated. He got his degree. And he's worked in the field of his choice, which is sports. And not only is he working and doing well and has a career, he's living on his own and not in mom and dad's backyard, quite a distance away. Yes, we struggled. It wasn't easy, but we kept looking at each milestone, each step that each one of us had to take. And along the way, my husband got diagnosed as an adult on the spectrum. It answered a lot of questions about things he did, the way he did things, what he liked, what he didn't like. But you know what? It didn't change him. He's still the same great guy he's always been and always will be. But he has his struggles. And because he has his struggles, I struggle along with him. But we find something positive in each day to make the day a little brighter. Now, as I said in the beginning, there are many people out there who are suffering, whether it be from Mother Nature, the snow, the ice, the winds, the fires, all the horrible things that have been happening. Whether it be global warming or not, these things are happening, and we have to address them on an individual basis and then move forward. I have friends and family who have lost everything, but they have each other. They have their love, and they have an opportunity to keep moving forward. It'll be a slow climb up that mountain, but they can do it if they want to. And initially, they're going to mourn. They're going to grieve. And that's one of the programs that we provide here at New Cleveland Radio, which is Grief Believe. Grief can be over so many things. I've been grieving over my right shoulder. My right shoulder, my right arm is never going to be the same again. My range of motion isn't going to be as perfect as it was before. But I can learn to live with the differences. Will I cry during physical therapy sometimes? Yeah, I might. May I get angry sometimes at why me? I might. But then I can look at the better part of things. Hey, look what I can do. look what I am doing. I am 74 years old in pretty good health, and I can make a difference. And I want to help you make a difference. I want you to go into 2025 knowing that you have the opportunity to be your best self. So, how do you reach me? A couple of different ways. You can go to newclevelandradio.net and go to the tab on Yes, I Can Coaching, and you'll find phone number and email there. Or you can go to KH dot yes I can 1 at gmail.com. Or you can just do me a favor and call me 440-526-1530. Are you ready to take the first step? I'm taking a first step every day, and I'm going to keep going forward. And when I slip, I hope that you will be there to assist me, because I'm going to be there to assist you. Have a great day, and know life is messy, so let's go play in the mud. Have a great day, everybody.